Hello and welcome back to Wildsunne Art Studio. My name is Robinsunne. Welcome. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your art friends so that you could send postcards across the miles to your art friends or any kind of friend. Today, what we are making is a paper cut pattern that's going to act as a stencil. Speak, Robinson. Act as a stencil for our postcards. So I've drawn a 6" by 4" rectangle on my paper. And now I'm folding it. I drew these lines so that that will match into my regular kind of fold. And I'm also going to do this third fold, front to the front and back to the back. And I'll just have to kind of keep my eye on where this 6" line is back here. I don't have to be too precise, but just to get a general, that wasn't very straight, idea. Okay, so now comes the cutting part. If I want a shape to be both on the height and the width, I have to cut it within the 2" line. So let's cut a heart this way. And these cuts are going to be a little chunkier. I'm not going for that look I often go for which is super lacy. All right, this is looking a little lacy. We'll see how that works. Okay. Let's unfold and see what we've got. This really is pretty lacy, isn't it? Well, this is just regular copy paper, by the way. It's not my usual thin origami paper. So let's turn this over. I don't know if you can see the line that I drew, but it's going to cut off that and that. That's going to be pretty. All right, so the next step is to take some tape, and masking tape is fine. And I'm going to tape this right up to the line that I drew. And this is going to help me not ink over the edge of you know, if the line is here, it's going to help me not put ink all over the place. And the other thing that it does is, because this stencil is just made out of paper, it's going to lend a little stability to, let's do this. It's going to lend a little stability and structure to the paper cut, because it's going to get wet with the ink and gonna curl up and go crazy. Of course, I'm going to have to do this on the back too. Well, at least on the 6-inch length size, because where these holes are is going to be sticky. That. So if I put another backside layer of tape, that will help that not be annoying. So in a lot of ways, I've used paper cuts as stencils before, but in a lot of ways I'm new to using my ink pads. So what I'm going to use for inking is, I don't know if you can see through the ink, but it's the Ranger Distress Oxide. Any kind of ink is fine. I mean, this is just mostly what kind of ink I have, but using regular rubber stamp ink is fine. You could probably do this with acrylic paint too, I think. And you can get those little foamy brushes like at big box stores. A little, yeah. So we'll see how that works. Now I need a piece of cardstock, and I don't know if you remember, and I do not have one here, but you can get 1, 2, 3 different postcards on an 8.5 by 11-inch paper. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? Is help things not move around too much. And yeah, and then this next part is kind of what you'd think it would be. I'm gonna take a little ink. I'm gonna get to hear my table creak. So I'm just gonna pounce the ink through the holes. And if you don't have one of these fancy little daubers, we have, I found them at places like a dollar store kind of place, and big box stores. I did not place that perfectly. Well, we'll see. You can get makeup sponges, those little triangular makeup sponges, and they make perfect ink daubers. And worked. Oh, look, isn't that pretty? Now, I didn't measure it properly, so I think that one's not going to come out the way that I want. It's going to have a short corner. I'm doing this crooked. You know what I want to do is try using just the stamp itself. Yeah, it doesn't, you get the edges. That's why using a dauber makes sense, because the edge of the stamp comes out. This is using the little foam stamper thing, makes the edges a little softer. There's a very little hole there and there. Not much of what I cut is showing through. So might have to go in So one way to make sure that I'm orienting the stencil onto my cardstock properly would be to draw out the 4x6 squares on my cardstock first. So because I already made some lines, I'm going to make some more lines, make it look like I meant that, which I didn't really, but there. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that looks really, I mean, even with the little square shapes, I don't know. So this is about experimenting and what we can do to make sure that we have the right space. Back in postcarding video number 2, I taught you how to make these frames, which are wonderful at helping a person know where to cut her postcard. And I'm cutting just inside that pencil line so that I don't have any pencil on my finished postcard. There we go. So this will be my postcard, and I will glue one of my little backers on that. And there's my finished postcard. Isn't that cute? So, ta-da! This is my treat for you today. And of course, you don't have to make a concentric fold. You could make that fan fold I taught you a couple of videos back. Or you could just cut random holes. So my blessing for you today is, I just saw, I have this sticker on my wall. It's actually not a sticker, it's a little sign, and it says, I am love. So this is true of all of us, and someday I could go into the physics of this, but love as the symbol of, as a symbol of unity, and the urge for unity, the urge for connection, which is of course why we send postcards. It comes down to a atomic reality of ours, that we actually are the light and the love of the universe. May we know that about ourselves. Ta-da! So have a splendid day, and I will see you next time. Bye.